Dry aging is a process that may seem intimidating, but is pretty simple. In both the most scary and basic sense, dry aging is the decay of meat in a controlled manner. When meat is exposed to oxygen for long periods of time, the enzymes within the meat become active, as they tend to thrive in aerobic environments. Now, what do we mean by active? Well, essentially, they begin to break down the molecular structure of the meat's tissue. This leads to a more tender and umami cut of meat. Now, another reason why dry aged meat is more flavorful is because of moisture loss, resulting in a more concentrated flavor. Meat is roughly 75% made of water, so if you lose only a small percentage of that, a significant change in flavor will be perceived. However, it's not only flavor which is affected through the dry aging process, but also the texture of the meat itself. As the meat ages, protein fibers are broken down by enzymatic activity. Thus, they become easier to chew. Now, most dry aging happens with beef. However, you can dry age almost anything, from whole duck to primal cuts of lamb. It's as simple as hanging the meat in a temperature-controlled environment, usually large rooms which are set between 32 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, a figure reported as ideal among food scientists. Now in this lesson, we'll be using a regular home fridge, which is typically set at 38 degrees Fahrenheit, perfect for a few days and up to 1 month, depending on what you're dry aging. Essentially, the larger the cut, the longer you can age it for. So, at this point, you may be wondering if dry aging is safe. Well, due to the cold temperatures and the loss of moisture within the meat, the process of dry aging actually helps stave off any harmful bacteria. Finally, we'll be pairing our dry-aged quail with a reduction of balsamic vinegar, a perfect combination of sweet and sour, which is great when paired with gamey meats. So without further ado, let's begin with our lovely quail. Now before we start the dry aging process, we'll need to dry the surface and cavity as well. This will ensure that any moisture is limited, which will help stave off bacterial growth. Now once our quail is all dry, we'll take some butcher's twine and make a loop around the neck like so. We'll then tie it once and twice to ensure we have a tight knot. I'll clip off any excess, and here's our quail ready to hang in the fridge. We'll use a bent paper clip as a hook. However, if you have an actual dry aging hook, then that's even better. And we'll tie our twine around the paper clip until we achieve a tight knot. Now we'll use this hook to latch onto the side door of our fridge and we'll hang to dry age for 3 days. After 3 days, as you can see, the flesh is protruding from the skin as the skin has become thinner from the dry aging process. This will also result in a more crispy skin once cooked. Next, I'll clip the neck and then remove the backbone like so. And you'll want to remove the entire spinal column rather than cutting straight through the center. We'll then separate our bird into two by cutting right through the middle. And there's our halved quail. Now, as you can see, the actual flesh itself isn't dry at all and has actually taken on more umami notes from the dry aging process. Now for our sauce, I'll add half a cup of balsamic vinegar and bring to a simmer. And we're going to reduce this until we achieve a nappe consistency, which is a reduction by a little more than half. And here, as you can see, it coats the back of the spoon. We'll lubricate our quail with some olive oil. We'll then season with salt and some freshly cracked pepper. We'll flip and do the exact same thing on the other side. Next, I'll charge a pan on high heat, add some olive oil, then add the quail skin side down. We'll make sure to press firmly to maintain contact with the pan. And we'll sear this until we achieve a crispy skin and a nice golden brown color. I'll turn and continue to cook flesh side down. I'll turn the quail every so often to make sure I cook both sides evenly. Now when cooking quail, it's important to note that the meat is red unlike chicken, and that it can be cooked until medium rare just like duck. However, I'll be cooking this all the way through as that's my preference when eating quail. I'll add some garlic in the pan along with some butter. We'll turn the heat down slightly and then begin to baste. I'll turn the quail around and baste the other side. I'll add some more cold butter and continue to baste until I'm happy with the cook, which is when the leg meat turns a nice shade of brown. We'll add this to a plate and then spoon over the balsamic glaze right next to our quail. And there we have it, pan-seared dry-aged quail paired with a sweet and sticky balsamic glaze. And the meat on the leg is extremely tender and super umami. The sweetness from the balsamic cuts through the gaminess of the meat, and this was really enjoyable to eat. So now that you understand how to dry age meat, feel free to experiment with different cuts and longer periods of time. If you really want to dive into this technique, I recommend buying a small dry aging fridge, as the airflow, dedicated space, and humidity control will make all the difference. That does it for this lesson. In the next, we'll be diving into the process of shallow frying. Bye for now.